are duping exorbitantly expensive home decor items, and we are going to get an almost identical look for hundreds less. We're going to start off by recreating 2 wreaths for my front door. Now my inspiration wreath is from Derby Creek Trading. This is a champagne toast velvet leaf gold dipped magnolia wreath. Pretty fancy, right? I love the color tone of this wreath. It's neutral. The flowers are so pretty, and I love the gold accents. And it's perfect for this time of year because this summer we're going to be moving into a late summer and fall, and this wreath is going to be able to be outside the entire time. Now our inspiration wreath is so pretty, but it comes at a pretty penny. It is $199, which is just too much for me to pay. So we're going to recreate one for much, much less. Now, first up, we need some wreaths. One of my favorite design tricks is to shop off season. As soon as that holiday is over, go shopping and buy things for half off, 60% off, 70% off. In this case, I was at Michael's and I found these gold wreaths. They were 70% off, you guys. Yes, they're Christmas wreaths, but we're gonna make them look perfect for all year round. And in the end, they were only $11 a piece. They've been in my closet upstairs just waiting for a chance to be beautified, and today is their day. These wreaths have a lot of sparkle on them, so I put some paper down underneath to contain the mess that we're going to make. Now, along with our wreath, we need some flowers. So I headed over to Hobby Lobby. Their fall leaves are out right now, so I was able to find the perfect shade and shape of leaf to mimic our inspiration wreath. I found this stem of leaves that are a perfect imitation. I took these leaves and cut them off the larger stem so I had individual leaves. I'm using my floral cutters. Once I had all of my leaves cut, I got some hot glue and I added the hot glue to the stem of the leaves and then pressed them to the wreath. I'm going to add these leaves sporadically throughout the wreath. I'm gluing them in areas that are similar to our inspiration wreath. Once I have the right amount of leaves glued down on my first wreath, I moved on to my second wreath and I did the exact same thing. I snipped the leaves off the large branch so I had individual leaves and then hot glued them to the wreath. These leaves are a fantastic neutral background that's going to make my wreath feel full and lush. Now we need some magnolia flowers. I had a hard time finding the mini magnolia flowers, the little baby ones, so we are going to upgrade a little bit and get some bigger mommy magnolia flowers. They're going to work just as well. I found these at Hobby Lobby, and then I'm also intermixing these larger magnolia flowers with some smaller white and cream flowers. I pulled my magnolia flower off the stem, added hot glue to the bottom of the flower, and then pressed it to the wreath. I have 3 large magnolia flowers per wreath, and I spread them out equidistant from each other. Once all of the large magnolia flowers were glued in place, I added hot glue to the smaller flowers and filled in the vacant spaces. Once the first wreath had all of its magnolia flowers glued onto it, I moved over to my second wreath and I did the exact same thing. I hot glued the large magnolia flowers first, and I'm placing them in the same location as my first wreath. I want these wreaths to look identical. Once the large magnolia flowers have been glued in place, I moved on to the smaller flowers. Again, I glued them to the wreath in the same areas as my first wreath. If you noticed, I have a bit of a gap at the bottom of each of the wreaths where I didn't put any flowers down. Now I did this for a reason because I am going to be taking a few creative liberties on this design. I want to personalize it, and we're going to do it with a sash. So we're going to be doing a dupe within a dupe on this project. So the sash that I want to mimic is from Etsy. This sash is so pretty. I love the formal bee monogram. This sash, however, is $42. I know we can make one for so much less. So while I was at Hobby Lobby, I was just browsing up and down the aisles and I came across some sashes, you guys. I didn't even know that they sold sashes. Now, these sashes are actually for like a beauty queen to wear and say, hey, I'm the winner. but we're going to use them to create our own decorative sash. Now, these sashes were only $2.99. These sashes are satin, and I love how wide they are. This was such a great find. Now I'm going to create my bee monogram on my Cricut Maker. I'm going to be using some iron-on vinyl. I had the maker cut out the bee, and then I also created a leaf wreath that's going to go around my monogram bee. Once everything was cut out, I weeded away the excess vinyl from my design and letter. This sash was stuck together, so I cut it so it had some pointed ends, and then I took my iron-on decal. I did the bee first and I placed it on the end of the sash. Then I got my easy press and put it over the top. I left it there for 30 seconds, then pulled it off and removed the protective coating. Then I grabbed my gold wreath and placed that over the top of the bee monogram. I put my easy press over the top of the vinyl, left it there for an additional 30 seconds, removed it, and then peeled away the protective coating. Once I was finished adding the monogram to the first sash, I moved on to the second sash and did the exact same thing. I put my bee down first, put the easy press over the top, set the timer for 30 seconds, removed the protective coating, and then put the gold wreath around the bee. Again, I put the easy press over the top for 30 seconds, and then I was able to remove the protective coating away from the wreath. Look at how amazing this monogram looks on this sash. Customized items always look more expensive because they're personalized to you. I love the font of the bee and the navy blue color. I also love that we used a different color for the wreath. The gold looks so elegant. This was easy, cheap, and it was a great way to personalize these satin sashes. Our inspiration was $42 from Etsy, so if we were to purchase 2 of those, it would be $84, and our sashes ended up to be $8.98, which is such a great savings. And now we have a personalized sash that we can put on our wreath. So what I'm going to do is take our sash and tie it into a bow. Once both of them were tied into a bow, I took a segment of floral wire. This is about 6 inches. I wrapped it around the center of the bow, twisted the wire together in the back, then took the tails of the wire and wrapped it around the wreath, and then twisted the wire ends together in the back so that the sash adhered to the wreath. Now we are completely finished with our personalized wreaths. These look so pretty. I love the way that the florals and the leaves coordinate together. The gold wreath was such a great find, and it gives that sparkle and sheen that adds a touch of pizzazz. And because we added the sash with the monogram, it's tailor-made for our family, so when people come to our home, they know that they're in the right place. We recently got our front door painted. It used to be a muddy brown color, and I never did like it. So now it's this gorgeous tone of blue-gray. The color is Booth Bay Gray by Benjamin Moore. These doors are so plain, and they are just crying out for these wreaths to be put on. So what I'm going to do is get some command hooks and place them on each door, and then I took my wreaths and placed them on the command hook. These wreaths are beautiful, they're inviting and classy. They look expensive because of the neutral color scheme with the gold, but also because of the monogram. Even though we did play around with the wreath design just a little bit, we added the additional sash, I still think it looks so similar to our inspiration wreath. Now, if you remember, this wreath was $199 a piece, so if we were to purchase 2, it would be $398. And after calculating the costs that went into creating both of my wreaths, it was only $45.98. So we got 2 for hundreds less. And in my opinion, they're even more beautiful than our inspiration wreaths. They are an elegant first impression when you come to my home. If you haven't subscribed already, now is your chance. If you like DIY home decor, room makeovers, design tips, home hacks, then you've come to the right place. Now, I do weekly videos and I would love to share those with you, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss an episode. Now, our next dupe is a pillow. I personally love to switch out my bedding, and I do it on a regular basis. It's amazing how making a simple change can update a space. Now, my inspiration pillow came from the Paragold website. It's this fawn spotted pillow cover and pillow insert. I love the animal print. It's a unique design, but it's neutral and classy. This pillow cover and insert is originally $243, but don't worry, it's on sale right now for $203, which is still too expensive for me to pay. So what we're gonna do is create our own. Now, in the past, you have seen that I love using pillow covers, and you can get them so affordably. My favorite place to get them is at Hobby Lobby because they have such a huge variety. They are a great size, but they are also very affordable. I found this 18 by 18 inch white pillow covering, and you guys, it was only $3.99. That is so cheap. I could not buy the fabric and a zipper and put the time and effort into making my own pillow covering for $3.99. So I scooped up this pillow covering, and it's going to be a great blank slate to work with. Hobby Lobby also has a huge variety of fabric, and I cannot believe that I found this animal print there. This fabric is an almost identical match to our inspiration fabric. And this week all the fabric is 40% off, so we got it for a great price. Now, instead of sewing my fabric to my pillow covering, what we're gonna do is get some Heat and Bond Ultra Hold iron-on adhesive. A sheet of 17 inches by 1 yard was only $3.49. What I'm gonna do first is get our fabric and cut it into an 18 by 18 inch square. I'm going to cut it to the exact same size as our pillow covering. So I got out my self-healing mat and my rotary cutter. I took my ruler and my rotary cutter and I cut down one side of the fabric, then moved over to the 18-inch mark, and I cut the other side. Finally, I cut the bottom with the rotary cutter, and now I have a perfectly sized 18 by 18 inch square that's going to fit over the top of my pillow cover. Now we're going to be using the Ultra Bond adhesive, so I pulled it out of the bag and I put it over the self-healing mat. Now, the problem with this sizing on this specific sheet was that it only goes to 17 inches and we need 18 inches. So what I did was I cut a 17 by 18 inch square and then cut an additional strip of 1 inch by 18 inches. There are two sides to this adhesive. There's the side that has the paper on it, and then there's the textured side that's on the bottom. So what we're gonna do is flip our fabric over so the decorative side is facing down. Then take the adhesive sheet, put the sticky side against the fabric, and have the paper side facing up. Then grab your iron and set it to a medium-high setting. I put mine on the cotton setting, so it was hot, but it wasn't as hot as it could get. So what you're gonna do with your iron is you're gonna put it over the paper and leave it in place for about 2 seconds. You can visibly see the adhesive change colors underneath. It becomes more transparent. Continue to iron this adhesive to the back of the fabric. Keep the iron moving, but make sure it stays over each part of the fabric for 2 seconds. I continued to iron the entire thing. Now that the adhesive is bonded to the fabric, you can cut out whatever shape you want. If you want to do a heart or a star or a pumpkin for fall, now's your time to do that. Now, because mine is just going to be a square, I'm going to leave it alone. Once you're finished with this step, you can remove the paper. Just peel it right off. Next, I took my pillow covering, I flattened it out, and then I grabbed my fabric that had the bond on it and placed it over the top. Once it was lined up and in place, I grabbed my iron again and put it over the top of the fabric. This time you're going to want to leave your iron in one location for about 8 seconds. You want to make sure that that heat transfers and the adhesive is hot and fuses to your fabric. Make sure that every part of the fabric has had the iron go over the top so that it's been heated properly. That way your fabric will bond together. Look at how well this fabric has bonded to the pillow covering. The extra fabric and the adhesive stiffens the pillow as well. I like my pillows to stand up straight and be nice, crisp, and sharp. Now what I'm going to do with my pillow covering now that everything is fused together is I'm going to fill it with a pillow insert. I prefer a down pillow insert to a cotton poly insert. The down feathers are more malleable, which makes your pillow covering look more expensive. And here we are with our beautiful pillow covering. You guys, look at this. It looks like it always was meant to be this way. It looks like we purchased it just like this. No one would know that we just fused it together and that this fabric was purchased separately. I can't even tell you how much I love this pillow covering, you guys. It's so pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the center of the pillows that are already on my bed. This pillow freshens up this bedding. The animal print pillow matches so well with the neutrals that I already have, but I love the unique and stylized design of the animal print on this pillow covering. It completely elevates the look of my bedding. Now I'm going to take my beautiful pillow covering and put it right up next to our inspiration pillow. You guys, you would not know that these were different pillows. They look identical. But of course, one thing that is not identical is the price. Our Paragold pillow covering and insert was $203 and that was on sale. And then after calculating all the costs that went into creating my pillow covering, it was $13.47. You guys, we saved hundreds of dollars making this ourselves. And it looks just as luxurious. Would a dupe video really be complete if I didn't do a flower arrangement? I don't think so. So next we're going to be doing a flower arrangement. I was on the Horchow website just scrolling because I love their items, but their items are so expensive, you guys. So when I saw this gorgeous pink peony arrangement in a candle vase, I knew I wanted to recreate it. I loved the glass vase and the flowers on this arrangement. It's cheerful, it's happy, but what's not cheerful is the price of $400. I'm not going to pay that, therefore we are going to make our own. Now I was at Ross and I just lucked out, you guys. I found these glass vases that are going to work beautifully in this dupe. I loved the rippling on the glass, and the base of this vase is so pretty. These vases were on clearance for $3.49. That is a steal. So now we have our vases. We need some flowers. So while I was at Hobby Lobby, I headed over to the floral section and I found these gorgeous pink peonies. I only needed 2 bunches. I got one bunch that was a solid pink and one that had a variety of different shades of pink. We are going to create a tape grid over the top of our vase. So I grabbed some Scotch tape and I ran 2 lines of tape horizontally and 2 lines of tape vertically. I love using this tape grid because it will hold your flowers upright and keep them in place. So now that my tape grid is on, I'm going to grab my first bunch of peonies, bend the stem, and then place it in between the tape. Once my first bunch of peonies were in the vase, I grabbed my second bunch. Again, I bent the stem and I placed it in the vase. At this point, it's just a matter of arranging the flowers and placing them in similar areas as our inspiration flower arrangement. This arrangement was so easy to create, especially because we left these in bunches. We didn't even trim them at all. All we did was bend the stem and place them in the vase. This arrangement looks so similar to our $400 Horchow inspiration piece, but after adding up all the costs, ours was only $23.38. And you could bring the price down even further by going to Hobby Lobby or getting your flowers on sale. The week that I went, they were not on sale, so I had to pay full price. But if you wait for them to go on sale, you can definitely bring down the price even further. But nonetheless, I absolutely love this arrangement. It's going to be a perfect addition to my fireplace mantle. So what I'm going to do is add my beautiful floral arrangement on top of my fireplace mantle right here. To this side, I have a candle. This is a beautiful hexagonal shaped candle with a gold top. And then I've got this tall white ginger jar that I placed on top of a marble riser. I love how there's varying heights right here. We've got the tall, the short, and the medium, so your eye can move across the design. Now over here, to give the other side some weight, what I have is a print. This print is from my website. The chunky gold frame is perfect in here, and to give it some extra height, what I did was I put it on top of a frame holder. Another cheap, easy way to freshen up your space is by swapping out your accessories. The flowers and these accessories make this room look fresh and bright. I have a question for you guys. Do you buy multiples of one item? Because I can't help myself, I always do. So guess what I did? I purchased 2 of these vases. There were 2 of them there and I could not leave this one behind, especially for the price of $3.49. I had to have it. So what we're going to do with this glass vase is reimagine it into an apothecary jar. Now you might be wondering, how are we going to do that? But it's so easy. All I did was borrow a lid from an apothecary jar that I already had. This glass lid fits perfectly over the top of this vase. And now I have this gorgeous apothecary jar. And as you know, apothecary jars can be so expensive. When I was looking online, I found one that was similar and it was $348, you guys. We got ours for $3.49 plus the cost of a lid. So if you're at home and you have vases, but you also have some lids that go to some other jars, swap them out and see if you can turn your vase into an apothecary jar. So if you're looking to get some new home accessories on a budget, give this hack a try. Well, you guys, we did so many dupes today, from our gorgeous wreaths, our sash, the beautiful pillow in the bedroom, this gorgeous floral arrangement, and its companion apothecary jar. We were able to recreate so many high-end items for less. You can live beautifully and you can do it on a budget. All you need to do is get creative, think outside the box, and imitate those expensive items for much less. Hopefully you got some inspiration or some ideas today. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now so I can continue to share these home decor items with you. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.